Okay, here we have an engine with the crankcase removed, and what we want to do is we want to remove the piston. And to remove the piston, we have to take the bolts off of the connecting rod and then move the piston out from the top of the block. Okay, and what we do is we can take these bolts off, loosen them. You can take them finger tight. Now the thing to remember on these particular bolts is that there are fine thread for extra strength. And the torque on these bolts are very critical when they're put back on. We need to use a torque wrench to approximately 50 foot-pounds. Actually, we have to use an inch-pound torque wrench because it's smaller. Alright, now this cap should come off. Alright, if you notice, the cap has arrow facing up. Okay, and now we need to move the piston. We move the piston with our fingers. We push it up through the top of the block. Okay, comes right out. Here we have piston, and it's going to go back into the block, and we want to bolt it to the crankshaft. We've got to keep in mind that this notch here is going to be lined up and facing where the flywheel would go. Okay, and this is where the flywheel bolts onto. Alright, we're going to be using a tool called the piston ring compressor, and we slide it on over the piston rings, tighten it on with this tool here. Okay, and then we slide it over where the skirt will fit into the cylinder. Okay, and then we would take bottom of a hammer, like a wooden hammer, okay, and start to tap it in. Now we could look inside here, and we could see that the rod is kind of hanging down. So at this point we know it's coming down. So we just tap, 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 tap. It's coming down. Tap a little bit more. Okay, and it's coming. And it's all the way in. Okay, we have it in there, so we push it all the way down, and we want to get over onto the crankshaft, so we can go back and forth to make sure that the rod fits onto the crankshaft. Okay, this is what's going to take a little bit of time. I hear that little snap. That lets me know that I'm snapped right into the crankshaft. Alright, now we are ready to put the connecting rod cap back on. Remember that it has an arrow facing up, and it's notched right here, and it will fit right in the slot here. Okay, and then we have to put the bolts back in. There we have a long bolt and we have a short bolt here. So the short bolt goes on the bottom, okay, and start the threads, okay, get them on as far as you can. It should go in really easy by hand because they're fine thread and they're nice and clean, okay, and then we have the longer bolt which fits into the connecting rod on top. Again, this should it should thread in nice and easy. Okay, we could use a ratchet to get it in faster. Make sure you have it set right. Okay. This is a 5/16 bolt on these particular engines. The newer overhead valve engines use a lot of metric bolts, but this engine still uses fractional bolts. So we get it to where it's snug, and then we use a torque wrench in inch-pounds. Okay. Okay. Snug it up on both sides, and then we should be ready with our torque wrench. Okay.